Good afternoon. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Join me. I should have told y'all about this yesterday, but to be perfectly honest, I just came up with this. I was emotional watching Willow's gift to Jada Pinkett and like on the Raven Table Talk, and I was like, "No, I don't want to honor moms the day after Mother's Day. I want to do it before Mother's Day. And plus, this week we are honoring teachers. So if you know of a teacher, make sure that you honor them, let them know how much they're appreciated. And for me, to all of the beautiful teachers that I do and do not know or have the privilege to have a relationship with, we are so grateful for your sacrifice, for your love, for your investment, for your nurturing in our children. For you caring about their well being, for you thinking about their future, for you investing your time, energy, and love into them in a space where we're not present, keeping them safe, protecting them, sometimes even from themselves. So we are so grateful for our teachers. So much so, I'm grateful for my teachers. I had some beautiful people invest in me in ways that my parents just couldn't. Spending so much time at school and learning and, making me feel excited about learning, making me be invested in learning, and just allowing me the space to be a person and learning that way as well. I'm so grateful. Also, today is Nurses Day. So, all of those amazing, beautiful folks that are nurses, we are so grateful for your sacrifices, your love, your investment, you putting yourself in harm's way to take care of us, how much energy, time away from your own families that you invest and taking care of other people. We are all so grateful to you. So I just really wanted to come and acknowledge we have so many things going on. It was Cinco de Mayo yesterday. This is Asian Heritage Month. There's so many things happening this month. But specifically, I came to speak to y'all about Mother's Day. It just happens to be today is Nurses Day. And then this week is, of course, Teacher Appreciation. So I wanted to make sure I came on and acknowledge that because it's super, super important. So as I get into honoring our beautiful mothers, I want to first say and honor my own. So, no apologies here. I may get emotional, but we're good. I want to acknowledge that my mom has been such a teacher for me. She has been such a rebel in a beautiful way for me. She has been such a knife and a sword. Like I recently heard, I like that. A sword and a shield for me. She has been broken for me. She has been hurt by me. She has been sad because of me. She has been um, devastated because of me. She has broken herself, challenged herself, went to the ends of the earth for me. And I just want to say thank you. And there's not enough thanks that I could give, say, monetary value I could put on your sacrifice, on your love, on your experience, on your pain, on your sadness, on your devastation, on your suffering, on your love, on your commitment. There's no price or thanks that I could give that would ever be enough. But I just want to keep saying it because it needs to be said. Um, there's just not enough. In your imperfection, you seem to have been able to give me a light that I just wouldn't have had otherwise. So I am so eternally grateful for you and everything that you give to me, to my children, to my husband, to this world. I am so grateful for what you give to my sisters, what you give to their families and their children, to children that you've raised. My mom invited so many children to live with us. My sister Jazz, which she adopted, Sabrina, my sister's best friend, which she let come live with us when I was in college. My cousin Sashay, that she took in when I was in college, just people over the years that needed her, and she showed up for that. Her grandchildren, other people's children. I'm so grateful to you. And I just wanted to express how valuable that is and how valuable you are to me. So I had to first honor my beautiful mother before I got into honoring mothers, right? So if you're a mom, please, please, please put your name in the chat or just say hello. I want to make sure I honor you individually, like as you're here with me. I want to make sure I do that. So for all of us who took the journey willingly, scarcely, fearfully, humbly, excited, or not, happy, joyful, into journey of motherhood, we all understand that that has come with so much sacrifice, pain, hurt, trauma, excitement, nurturing, fear, just these overwhelming, bottles of emotion and experiences. And even though someone could have told you, you still wouldn't have been prepared for what was on the other side of that, for what comes with growing a human being in your womb, for giving your body and breaking it and molding it and changing it to bring a life into the world. Nobody could have told you what that means or what it feels like until it happens, right? Even for those mothers, and I really want to speak to this as well, for those mothers who chose to give your children up, you are still a mom. There is a lot of bravery and courage in someone acknowledging that they don't have the skills to provide or be the parent that a child needs. So they give them to someone who can. There's a lot of power in that. There's a lot of bravery and courage. So I definitely want to acknowledge the moms as well who took that step to say, hey, I'm not the best, but I want to make sure you get the best. No one could have prepared you for what your experience was. No one could have planted your feet, right, in stability emotionally to say, I could do this job, right? The journey of, growing a human being and bringing them into the world, we put our lives at stake, right? How many mothers have died in the process of childbirth? How many mothers have given their lives so that their children may live? How many mothers have stood in the way of death and how, danger to save the lives of their children? How many mothers give of themselves till they have nothing left in their cup for their children? How many mothers have found themselves, even though they've given everything they have, it's still not enough? How many mothers have found themselves in spaces that they just couldn't get their shit together and to give their children what they needed? Guess what? You're still a mom. You've still made a sacrifice. You still brought a human being into this world. You still gave of yourself, even though we fuck shit up sometimes, sometimes we do irreparable damage, even in our best intentions at times, or even when we selfishly are trying to just survive. We have done damage. However, we are still mothers, right? We are imperfect beings, and we do our best, even sometimes when it's hurtful to our children. We're still mothers. Please honor yourself as a life giver. For those women who have sacrificed their bodies to bring children into the world. And I mean everything from getting in vitro to pursuing like all of these very innovative spaces and ways to bring children into the world. We are so grateful for your sacrifice. Motherhood is a privilege. It is a privilege. It is an honor. And handling it with care is necessary. Although we may not always be at our best, we are our best, right? If that makes sense. I definitely want to honor all of, women who acknowledge the value of their children's lives, and they ensure their safety and they protect them from the world as best they can. And more so, they provide them the education, space, love, and support to learn how to protect themselves. I want to honor all of you beautiful women for doing your best, even when it doesn't feel like it's your best. Children are resilient. Our children give us space to mess up, even though we may harbor guilt and anger and sadness. Give yourself permission to be sad. Give yourself permission to not be okay. Give yourself permission to be imperfect. There is so much honor and love in being able to give life like that in and of itself, because we're the only ones that can do it, right? We're the only ones that can do it. For all the mothers out there who have taken on, even though it may not be your biological child, that you are still giving life by putting life into this child, into this very resilient, innocent being. Honor yourself. Be grateful, and like, please, please be proud of you. Don't take for granted everything you do. There are so many things that we could say that we don't do, or we should have done better, coulda, woulda. But there are things that we do well, and there are things that we should be honoring ourselves for and be proud of. Not focusing on our faults and our flaws, but allowing ourselves to be accountable and aware, but also loving ourselves and giving of ourselves as much as we give to other people. As moms, sometimes it's hard not to give everything you have away. When you either go to work, or you're a stay-at-home mom and you're teaching all day and you're cooking and you're cleaning and you're taking care of a household, managed household, or your mother that goes out into the world and you work, right? Whether it be prostituting yourself, or going to a corporate job, or stripping, or being a custodian, or being a therapist, or working at Walmart, or working at an advertising company, or being a CEO of a company. Whatever you're doing to provide for your children, all of that sacrifice is absolutely worth it. All of your sacrifice and love is absolutely appreciated. All of your hard work and effort and energy you put into the nurturement of beings other than yourself is absolutely appreciated. And I just wanted to come and say, from me to you, I appreciate you. Ashley Johnson, I want to make sure that I want to acknowledge you. Sabrina, I want to acknowledge you. Sequoia, I want to acknowledge you. Cicely, I want to acknowledge you. Dana, I want to acknowledge you. Stevie, I want to acknowledge you. Jasmine, I want to acknowledge you. Brianne, I want to acknowledge you. Yolanda, I want to acknowledge you. Of course, my mom, I want to acknowledge you. My grandmothers, Beverly and Connie, I want to acknowledge you. All of these beautiful beings, my great grandmothers, Grandma Cool, G Grandma, I want to acknowledge you. I want to acknowledge all of the women who made sacrifices. Mary, I want to acknowledge you. Sabrina, Lucky, Renee, Christina, all of these beautiful, powerful women, I want to acknowledge you. Charmise, Charmaine, people that I know and love, I want to acknowledge you. Nikki, I want to acknowledge you. I really want to make sure we are investing in people that are beautiful mothers and that give the best that they have. And sometimes it's not enough. Sometimes we fall short, but we do our best anyway. All of my clients that are mothers, I acknowledge you. All of the people that I work with outside of being a client of mine, I acknowledge you. All of my line sisters and her mothers, I acknowledge all of you beautiful ladies. I want to acknowledge all of the mothers and acknowledge how effortless you do this job. And even if you're trying hard, guess what? It's appreciated. I got to try hard. Mothering is a very challenging job. And I'll share this with y'all. After Nicole, I'm sorry, as I'm thinking of like mothers, Nicole, after I had my child, I struggled with postpartum for a while. Having him in such a traumatic way, my pregnancy was traumatic. I was in pain a lot. I lost a lot of weight. It really put a heavy, like rain cloud over me. And it just felt like the storm did not stop. After bringing her home, I was so excited, but so scared and so much in pain and agony. Like, I remember laying on the floor. We had come home. My mom was there. She had came for a week to help us out. And I remember going out on a date. My husband and we came home, and I had maybe been home like 2 weeks possibly. The amount of pain that I felt, I just didn't want to be here anymore. I'm like, just take me right on up out of here. I was just in agony. My pain level was more than a 10. I just laid on the floor and cried and cried and cried. And my mom just came and she just held me and she told me, Sade, it's going to be okay. Mind you, my newborn child is in the other room. And I'm almost like in the midst of being in pain, I'm almost resentful. Like, why did I put myself through this? Why did I choose this? Why would I do this to myself? Not understanding what it meant to go through childbirth and like the after effects of childbirth and what could possibly happen to you. I just didn't know. Even from there, going through postpartum, having times where I just could not. And even in me loving my child with all of my being, I just could not. So I just want you mothers to hear me say, I get it. I understand. I am here with you. I support you. You are loved. You are liked. You are beautiful. You are honored. And I just want you to know that from my place to yours. If you know a mom, tag a mom. If you know a mom, tell her how beautiful, loving, honest, like, give her all of the love that you can. That is a hard ass job. It's a hard ass job giving of yourself every day, all the time. It's a hard ass job protecting a being that you don't have control over. It's a hard ass job going out here working and giving of yourself just to turn around, have to do it again. It's a hard ass job. It's a hard ass job for all of the women who do it and just don't feel appreciated or seen or loved or liked. It's a hard ass job. So please, please, please tag a mom, tell a mom, love a mom. Y'all have a beautiful day. Peace.